Oh boy, today's gonna be a big one. I mean, like really, really big. Stay tuned, this is your Geek Fix. So today we have a really big, and I do mean really big, package that I received. And I also got another package pretty close to it in time. So I thought I better open them together. Now, this is a pretty special package because it contains something I didn't think I was gonna get. So let's check this out. So on the inside, we've got our magazines. We've got, in this case, we're doing issues 7 through 10. So 4 of those. And then we've got our parts, 4 packages of those. And then on the inside, there's some paper in the bottom, but underneath that, we have this. What is this, you might say? Well, I'm gonna get the box out of the way. I think I'm gonna keep this box though as the biggest thing I have for being able to store my parts in. And here, wrapped in plastic wrap, and inside of a very nice folder that protects everything on the inside with the R2 on the outside. And then on the inside, we have this artwork. I mean, check this out. We got, it's just really nice. These are really nice prints. They're on a thick cardstock and really gorgeous. Got R2 and BB-8. Here's one from Empire Strikes Back. Also looks really nice. And then we have a close-up of R2. This is an actual painting. Also, looks really good. Good quality pictures. So that's pretty neat. These are my first gifts that come with your second shipment, I think starting with, well, obviously, number 7. So I'm going to put that where it's going to be safe, that box. And then, over here, I have my magazine and my parts. I also have another box that I got. So I've been getting these pretty quickly, enough so that they've really been stacking up. And on the inside of this one, we have the final issues tied to this phase, which is 11, 12, 13, and 14. And so I'm just going to go ahead, we're going to just try and do all of these all together. So let's see here, let me put these into order here. 14, 13, 12, 11, and I do know a little bit of a heads up on what I'm opening today, so I thought it would be a good idea to just do them all at once. First thing we want to do is pull out our first magazine here. I do have all my parts over here so that I can actually go through and continue to add on to them. I know that these parts are probably going to be adding to what I've already done. So this time we're going to continue building that structure for the inside of his head. And on the inside, we're getting into stunts and the stunt teams tied to Star Wars. A lot of great pictures, originals, including these falls. There's actually some good stories about Luke and Leia trying to swing across in the first movie. I think in one of my other videos I referred to this guy as Fly 3PO because he has part of C-3PO's body but a fly type head. Then we get to learn a little bit about artificial insistence, more about robot technology, some of the first robot workers, before we finally get into R2. So, as you might recall, last time we built this. So we have part of the head, and up here in the top, these bearings that are in here that allow this to swivel. And so, that's pretty cool. But this is only the beginning. I mean, we're going to build the entire structure from pieces like this, and that's what we're going to continue to do today. Got some more parts we're going to be putting together. These are called fixing screws, is the way that they refer to them. So, now we're going to continue on. It looks like we're going to be putting a piece on each side of this. So one that's going to go here and one that's going to go over here. And we'll be attaching those with those screws again and some bolts. So I am happy to see that they gave me more of these and aren't just expecting that I held on to them, although I did. In fact, I actually followed a recommendation from one of the viewers. Here's a pill box. I was using a larger box for screws and things, but decided it was a little too big right at the moment. So, keeping it small and simple. So, you'll remember the last time, what we needed to do is take these parts right here, we stick them on to this, just like so, and then we have to stick these little nuts in here like this. And then we try to hold that on while we flip it over, and then stick these screws through to the other side here. So for the purpose of not being too redundant, I'm going to time lapse this a little bit for you. Okay. So far, so good. All right. We now have that piece. I'm now going to take these parts right here, and we're going to make his right ankle fitting. Oh, this is actually a major piece here. So, right ankle fitting. So I'm going to bring these over here, take this out here, and alright. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these and one of these and over that, okay, like that. And then we take one of these right here and we're going to push it down into there like that, okay. And then we are going to screw in another one of these screws. Wait, that was it. There it goes. All right, done with that one. Doing another one now. So again, take one of these and again screw them together. I don't know why I really had to screw it quite a bit to get it in there. I don't know. So strange. Okay, let's see. Now I gotta turn the page. Completely assembled. Oh, that was all that I'm doing with those two pieces. These little parts I need to do stuff with. Now, coming to our next magazine. Hopefully this one tells us what we're doing with these little extra parts that we have. Issue 8, doing some more of the construction of the head. Now we're getting into the Weapon of a Jedi, which you know what that is, and we get to see the unflashed lightsabers there that were coated, and we also see some initial drawings of the lightsaber. Boy, we actually built a lightsaber just recently and tried to make it retractable. Imperial Mark IV. It's like a body camera for stormtroopers, humanoid robots. We get into some details about them. This down here is from the movie Metropolis, which I actually had to see it for film school back in the day. It's a classic. This is the mechanism that C-3PO was actually modeled after. You can even see that even the head, the crown piece, is also similar. Talks about points of movement, freedom of movement, and then we're getting into our building. So, continuing on with our head frame, looks like we have some bigger pieces actually we're going to be using here. So, number 8, there we go. So, got some more pieces here, and I like the way that they package these metal pieces, and I'm hoping pretty soon here we get to see what these other pieces are that we didn't do anything with in the last build. Alright, next we're going to add a couple more panels, including one that's for his eye piece, so that's kind of exciting. Let's see here. So that piece goes apparently right here. And so we're continuing to use our washers and our fitting screws, holding the washers as I start to screw in these screws. Almost completed the head here. So there's that one. And then right next door to that one, we put this one. Notice also that they didn't give me any new parts for these washers and things. So if I had lost them, or if I'd thrown them out or something, just assuming that we were done, I'd be in a world of hurt right now. Next thing I'm going to be doing, we are going to connect these together, sliding this onto here, and this onto here. And then we're going to take one of the screws and screw it into the threaded hole. See if that works or not. I mean, that works. Now I'm done with that part. When I turn the page, I see another thing to do. So now we're going to bring these parts back, and then I got this part right here. And what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be hooking this into here like that, and then I'm taking this piece back that I used on the lake before, and I'm going to be hooking that, just pressing it straight into the assembly. So just press it in like that. Okay, great. Now I'm going to use these black screws that they gave me, and I'm going to be hooking it together using those black screws. Now we're going to be attaching that to this, and so it's going to be just kind of hooking on right here just to see how it would look, but I'm probably not going to be screwing it on. Nope, it's just for looks, just for looks. We're ready to move on to our next issue. This is issue 9. More of the head is going to be built, as well as probably some other things. I'll move that out of the way for a minute. So we're getting into George Lucas and creating a galaxy. George Lucas was born, or at least raised, in Modesto, California. If you go to Modesto, which I got to live in for a while, you can actually go visit his house, which is nothing too big to look at. But they also used to have a race every year to celebrate American Graffiti, which was another one of his movies. So different types of plastic that we're getting into now, including colored plastics, and then ABS, which I use quite often for printing and things like that. And then we're into the next part of our build. Ooh, we're gonna be doing some neat things this time. So switching it over here, we're about to finish off that top of the head, and so I just needed kind of one more piece to be able to do that. Let's see here, we got 2 different sets of things going on, and look at that. If you twist it off too much, an image from Princess Leia pops up. So alright, so I got that. I've got another piece here. We already know what to do with that. I'm just going to stick it right on here like this. I need some more nuts here. 2 more of those. As I rotate it over, stick in the screwdriver, here are the screws, and screw those into place. Now I'm going to complete a little bit more of my circle here. So therefore they gave me a couple more of these, and that means I also need some of my short screws again, just like that. Then I'll put the other panel right here, and okay. And now we've got our cool ring going on here, and so now that we've got that, then we're going to be taking this, and I'm going to be lining it up. Wow, I'm going to be putting screws all the way around this thing. Then carry on this way until you've fitted all 12 nuts and bolts in the outer ring. Alright, here's where we do, where we speed things up for time's sakes. I need 12, huh? 1, 2, do I have 12 of those fixing screws? maybe. This might use up the rest of my screws too. Ouch, that kind of hurt. There's that. And then, okay. Okay. Now, I've got that all built and put together. That's our completed frame for the top. Then I'll turn my page here. And now we get to construct one of my favorite things I've been looking forward to. Ooh, but there's a piece missing. Oh no, there isn't. Looks like what we're gonna do is fairly straightforward. We take this piece right here and we drop it straight into this piece, this piece right here. And then I'm gonna be taking this piece right here and I'll drop those both into that piece like that. Very good. Now I'm gonna take this right here and I'm going to be putting it in, and then I'm going to be taking the magnetic screwdriver and pick up one of the fixing screws. Oh nope, that's it. That's the one. There we go. And okay. And then I drop this into here like so. Okay. I guess that's all the more there is to that one, actually. So look at that. So we've got the eye, the projection that should be able to move. And surprisingly, look at that lens, because I do know it's going to actually project through that lens. So interesting. That brings us to issue 10. We've got visual effects department. We get a shot of the Millennium Falcon. This is the first one, I believe, because that looks like the 6-footer. There's the insides of R2 and making him work. Again, look at all the cables and things. This is stuff that these days, if they had the technology we're using to build this, they would have had a lot more room inside. But luckily, actually, they had to be inventive, and that makes it even better. So, more about robots in the real world. And now we're going to be taking that head frame, the lens, the leg parts, and adding more to them. So I'm going to bring back my head frame here. And we need number 10. Okay. And this one just basically has a couple of pieces here. And then this piece right here, which goes to a whole different part of the body, I believe, that we've already started constructing. We're going to be starting off with this piece right here. This piece, it appears, goes right here. There it is. And doing our typical thing with the screws. So nothing new here. Don't have as many screws anymore. I hope we got more coming. The thing about this is you start having little holes inside the end of your thumb from doing that. Next, I'm going to be taking this piece, these pieces. That's my lens that they have it super dark. This piece, and then there's our little piece that I held on to. Yay! Right there. Okay. So we've already hooked on this part. That was the first step. Done. Next, I'm going to take this right here, turn it around like this, and stick this on top, just like so. Excellent. Yeah. These parts fit together like so, apparently. Oh, there it goes. Yep. Sure enough. And then fix it in place by driving a self-tapping screw into each of the 4 holes. Like that. Okay. Then we're going to be fastening that onto the front of this thing. Just like this, I guess. Slide that in through there. Slide this one in through here. There we go. And then slide it to the side, I guess. And there you go. I think just give me an actual camera on the inside of this. So that's that piece. Number 11 Issue 11 is where we're going to be building more of that head. We got more about our visual effects teams, about props, protocol droids, and pirate droids. I did a whole video on this guy. If you haven't seen it, check it out. We get into robot technology and those that have been most involved in its development. And then we're into the next part of our build. So what's cool here is we're going to finally build something too to be able to keep this thing, I guess, in place. So we need another set. So now we're into number 11. That's right here. So luckily it gives us more screws because we're starting to run a little bit low. And this pole, which will come in important eventually. And then I've got all my little screws and things here. And now we're continuing around the head, it appears. And we're going to slide this eye part back off. So I guess that was just temporarily to show us what it looked like. So I'm going to the right now. So I get out some more of my bolts and we take the long screws and we're going to fit those through. Okay, and then, oh, that was it for that part, literally. Okay. Issue 12 will be building the dome and the leg frames. Gets into some finishing touches, telling us about the last days before they released the movie, going back and doing some things, which is really interesting because if you hear the stories about the cast going and seeing the initial trailer and seeing versions of it before a lot of the special effects and the sound effects and music and things were in it, being really worried that this was going to be a major flop. Then we get into semiconductors and robot technology. So I'm guessing if it's talking about that, we're going to be doing something with some semiconductors. So head frame and leg components. Continuing with my head frame. Well, this comes over here. This comes off of here. All right. I'll bring this back over now. And so I'm continuing from where I left off. This time we're going to be putting on this piece right here, and it's going to fasten on right. And when I flip it over, so one goes right here, and then another one goes right here, and then using my thumb to hold it in place, I get out some more of my long screws here, slide them down into these holes. Almost there. There, that's it. Okay. And then one more. I do think that it does help to try and do two at a time, but I'm not sure how much it helps. Okay. That was those parts. Then we are going to... Oh, nothing. Nothing with that one. Finally, we're into our last magazine. This one, we're going to be finishing the head and building a stand that we can use to put the head on top of. Finally, we're to the day where they're ready to release the movie and things turn out awesome. I mean, I got to see this movie in the theater, and it was one of my first movie theater movies. Actually, it's the first one definitely that I can remember. Get into space robots, real and imagined. And this is another project I need to finish. I actually have one to be able to build and haven't done anything with it. But in the meantime, what we need to do is finish up this head here. So we're taking number 13 now. We're bringing out some more plastic pieces here for the structure. And I think these are supposed to be legs. Bringing this back around now. I am going to be adding on two more pieces. The first one is going to be this one, which goes right here, like so. And then flipping that over again. I need to put in a couple more of these bolts here. Hold those in place. And flip it over, screw in more of these screws. Okay, whew. There we go. Completed that portion is all done. And now we're gonna build ourselves a stand, and this part's probably gonna be one of the easiest parts to do. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing is putting the feet on. And so we just stick these right through like so. 1, 2, and 3. And then what we do is we're going to be screwing in black screw. And one more. And then we're going to take that and we're going to stick it into this area right up here. So let's stick the two things together and it looks like a really strange Tiffany lamp, basically. But that's my head with the stand for being able to continue to construct it. So yeah, so that's kind of cool. That's the end of that magazine. That brings us to issue 14, where we're going to be building more of the head frame and some of the leg assembly. We have the birth of the phenomenon. Now it's made it out of the theaters. This is when the toys finally get introduced, which is interesting because if you've seen any of the making of toys shows that are out there, you know that they wanted to be able to release those toys right away. They even had stands for them and things, but they couldn't do it till after the movie was released. We have Jabba and some of his assistant droids. Then we have ancient robotics. So early versions of steam-based and weight-based types of machines which could kind of fake movement or that looked like people or that could do human-like things. And then that brings us to my last assembly, which is the center ring. So first, I'm going to be taking this piece right here and this piece, and I'm going to be attaching the two together right here, and we're going to complete that assembly with some of those short phase screws, which I think went through the opposite side. Oops. Right, like this. Okay. Then R2's right ankle fittings is what we're getting into next, which are these things right here. Okay, so for example, I have this one right here. And then what I do, flip it over like that. And then we put in, just fit a screw. Just put a screw through there. We don't care which one. Okay. And do the same thing on the opposite side, I guess. Just like this. All right. So we're left with that. Very good. Okay. Cruising along now. Oh no. That's the end. I still got these other parts. No. And this little tiny part too. I've never seen yet what this goes to. I'm kind of a little bit freaked out that I have to still hold on to that. But so when you look at it, we did quite a few things today. We have a lot of things that are now complete or that are well on their way to being complete. So how exciting is that? If you want to see how this turns out, keep watching next time. I'm going to continue to keep all my little screws and so the pill blocks. In the meantime, like, subscribe, comment below. Keep watching as we continue to make this R2-D2 and also as we have the release of future videos of our Iron Man Mark III. This is your Geek Fix.